Good morning, YouTube. Hey, I'm bringing you my September update on Jeremy Dewitte in Orange County. Been a lot of chatter going on across YouTube and some of the forum sites and some of the Facebook and all this other stuff. A lot of it deals with a global plea deal that took place in Osceola County. I've already mentioned that I don't believe a global plea deal crosses jurisdictional boundaries, where you have Orange County, Osceola County, two different courthouses, even though they're in the same judicial district, the 9th. We'll see. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I don't see where that crosses jurisdictions. I don't even see where cases from different jurisdictions in the same court can cross over. And that's going to become relevant here in just a second when we start talking about things. I want to do a recap to begin with. And this is all going to revolve around this transport order that's been issued. And Jeremy's previous nolo contendere plea on his sex offender stuff. And let me bring up the Orange County Courthouse website. So here's the little recap, and we're going to talk about 004466. So he was adjudicated guilty. That's because he did the nolo plea on this, where he would not admit guilt, but he was adjudicated guilty. He was set for a sentencing hearing, which was on 9/2, and he wasn't there. So the hearing didn't take place. And if you look here, the hearing was for 9/2. That date will become relevant here in a second when we talk about this plea hearing that is supposed to take place on September 17th, which is this Friday. So let's go back, and I'm going to try not to confuse people here, but it's going to be hard. Let's go to 012733. Now, I had to look through all these cases to find this transport order. 012733. Now, this case originated in Windermere by the Windermere Police Department, falsely personating an officer, resisting an officer without violence, and reckless driving. So there's an order to transport, but what I want to talk about is the correspondence from the sheriff's office. We're going to look at this first. Your Honor, we are unable to comply with the attached order for the following. Now, on 9/1, there was a transport order that was issued for Jeremy to be brought to Orange County Court for a sentencing hearing on 9/2. That was that first case I showed you. They said they were unable to do it, and they require at least 10 business days in order to facilitate any transports. Okay, so now we're going to look at this order to transport. So Judge Roach came out with an order to transport, which allowed them the days that they needed. And this is in regards to case number 012733. And this is for a plea hearing for the completion of said plea hearing. I cannot find a plea hearing on any of Jeremy's open stuff. And this is all dealing with this case. That plea hearing is not listed in that case. However, this is supposed to take place, and Judge Roach ordered this transport order, so I'm assuming this is actually going to take place. This Windermere case is all what was scheduled for October 5th for a pretrial conference and October 18th for the hearing. This also falls in line with all of his Orange County cases. So if we go back here, and we'll just pop up one more case here and look. This case is out of Orange County, and this is also scheduled for October 5th and October 18th for the trial. We do see the motion for voluntary remand from Amir, which he did as soon as he was adjudicated guilty in Osceola County, they did not allow him that 30-day extension before he had to go to jail, and they took him into custody. Amir immediately went over to Orange County and filed a motion for voluntary remand. It's really not voluntary remand. He's in jail. So they're trying to get his time from Osceola County and that sentence to count toward any time he may get in Orange County, which that's very astute for a lawyer to do. You want to try and negate as much time as you possibly can. So if this isn't as clear as mud to you, because it's about as clear as mud to me, I don't understand. There's still no rescheduling of his sentencing hearing on the sex offender stuff, because they were to address charge 2 and charge 3 during that sentencing hearing, where he got 365 plus 1. So we're just going to have to wait and see. The plea hearing is very interesting. I want to see what's going to happen with that plea hearing on the Windermere case. Now, I am not very well versed in judicial procedures in Florida. Obviously, I don't think anybody is, because it's just, I don't think the left hand really knows what the right hand's doing. I do know Judge Roach is very critical of the prosecutors, and she should be. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with this plea hearing on Friday. Whether or not the results of that will be posted Friday evening, I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss with how often they update. They update the website and get those documents up there, but we'll have to wait and see. I do know, and everybody's been asking me the global plea deal. The global plea deal, my understanding, and I am very well versed in I'm sorry, I just have to take a real quick look at that. I'm very well versed in Massachusetts, working with the ADAs, the DA, and how things operate here. Florida, man, no. I don't think anybody is really an expert on it down in Florida, because it's kind of fluid. Everything kind of flows like a squiggly line. So so I just don't think that this global plea deal, the global plea deal probably encompassed everything that was going on in Osceola County, which it did, and he got 18 months. So now we're over back to Orange County, different jurisdiction. We'll have to wait and see. If it does bleed over, I'll eat crow and admit I was wrong. But my interpretation of that, it is what it is. It's separate jurisdictions, doesn't cross over. And it's the same with the Windermere case and the Orange County cases. 2 different jurisdictions. So it's going to be the same prosecutors, the same judge, still two different jurisdictions where these crimes took place. They have to be addressed separately. And I think that's what we're going to see with this plea deal on Friday. He's going to plead, most likely nolo, to those charges from Windermere and work out some type of plea deal on that. Then he's going to have to address the whole big stack of Orange County charges. Not to mention, he still has a sentencing hearing, but the Orange County stuff, that's still going to have to be addressed. Now, people have reached out to me, my thoughts on the Sergeant Vidler, Corporal Ramsey thing that's going on. I believe the disciplinary actions that are being taken all have to do with the traffic stop involving the concealed weapon and where he was arrested for carrying a concealed weapon. I got mixed feelings on that. I usually don't give an opinion because, number one, I wasn't there. I don't know what the mind thought was of Sergeant Vidler at the time. From what I saw, Sergeant Vidler pulled up next to him. He saw what appeared to be a Glock firearm in a holster on his belt. He knows Jeremy usually carries pepper ball guns. Usually the pepper ball guns he carries used to have that big knob on the back of it, so you'd be able to identify it as something other than a firearm. This had actually a magazine inserted, which appeared to be a Glock firearm and a Glock magazine. So it appeared to be a loaded firearm in the holster. Once he initiated the stop, and realized that this was not a firearm, at that point, he should have been released forthwith and not charged and taken into custody. My opinion. And that is my own opinion. Don't beat me up on it. That's just the way I feel about it. Everybody's got an opinion, you know, just like everybody's got a butthole and most of them stink. So that's what it is. Okay, so I've got one more point or one more thing that I want to discuss, and that was the Florida National Guard, the infamous Snodgrass letter. I had put out there that, you know, I would like to get a copy of that letter. I actually found my copy of it. It was on one of my backup drives. But PoliceTube did send me a copy of it. And I did a little more investigating into that. I spoke with a Sergeant First Class Kubas on the phone. I also exchanged emails with him. Discussed the legitimacy of the letter. And if there was, in fact, a recruiter by the name of Staff Sergeant William Snodgrass at that office, Sergeant First Class Kubas was able to tell me there was, in fact, a recruiter during that time frame, Staff Sergeant Kubas. He said he was a squared-away recruiter, but had no additional information on where he might be or any type of contact information. So I can't validate the legitimacy of that letter. I can talk a little bit about the actual letter's format. It does not conform to Army Regulation 25-50, which is the regulation that dictates Army correspondence, whether it be memorandums or letters or whatever. There's a certain format that has to be followed for any type of official military correspondence. This letter does not follow that. It's not on official letterhead. There's no date. Office symbols, they don't have to put office symbols on letters, especially when it's going to a civilian entity. The signature block's completely wrong. A lot of things that just don't look right with that letter. But I cannot validate whether that letter is, in fact, a true letter written by Staff Sergeant Snodgrass or not. Jeremy, he's not a dumb guy. So he could have, well, let me go to a recruiting office. He got the guy's card. The guy probably told him, yeah, no way we can get you enlisted as a convicted felon. Not happening. I spoke with Sergeant First Class Kubas about convicted felons. He said they don't even waste their time because they're never going to get a waiver unless they can get the felony expunged from their record, which there was in fact no attempts at that. So the letter's in the air. It is what it is. However, I'm still going to keep Jeremy Dewitte's name out there with stolen valor. Lots of proof, lots of pictures of him in uniforms, lots of videos where he claims all this Army Special Forces Ranger, Major, Captain, blah, 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 blah. He's still a stolen valor poser, never been in the military. That's been well documented, and I want to try and keep that in everybody's forefront. Just remember that. He is that much of a scumbag to claim he was in the military. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hey, we're over 5,000, guys. Thank you so much for your support. I'm glad you enjoy my content. I try and stick with the facts as best I can describe them or explain them. Make sure you hit that bell to get notifications of any new media uploads or any future live streams I may do. I'm planning a couple of live streams if I can get the other people involved, and we can work out some dates. As always, give me a thumbs up. It helps. And if you're out there riding on twos, make sure you keep the shiny side up, rubber side down. And as always, have yourself a great day.